It's motorsport, but not as you know it. Test yourself and your everyday road car. Safe, affordable, but most of all, fun. And all you need is your daily driver. Experience the thrill of a sprint day. Race against the clock at a hill climb. Or test your reflexes with an auto test. It takes just 3 simple steps to get started. Get on the start line. Search Motorsport Australia Daily Driver today.
Good evening and welcome to SimSpeed TV, and thank you for joining us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Kick for another Saturday night of Edge of Your Seat virtual GT3 action. The penultimate round of the ANZ ESeries GT3 National Championship, Round 8, takes on the premier permanent racetrack in Australia, Phillip Island. Home to rounds of supercars, Australian MotoGP, World Superbike Championships, but tonight is a battleground for some of Australia's seriously fast GT3 drivers. We started to see some chinks in the armour of some of our competitors last round as we watched on at Sandown, which can only be described as messy. Race Control had their work cut out for them with some very questionable racing incidents and mind-puzzling actions from some of our drivers. Are the cracks about to open up, or perhaps it's just a lapse in concentration in a long championship? Either way, tonight will be the ultimate test with light to moderate rain hanging around for qualifying, sprint and the feature race tonight. Hello, I'm Aaron Oversteller. We have Jay Kennedy doing an incredible job as always in production, and joining me in the comm box and calling all the action tonight is the incredible Daniel Yaman. Welcome to Phillip Island.
Yeah, wet and wild. It's, I'd argue, my second local track, and funnily enough, the weather here, virtually speaking, hasn't reflected what I've vaguely seen outside my windows up in Melbourne today. Although in saying that, I've tied myself down to my computer, so it's not really a fair examination of what's been going on outside. But here we are now down in basically, well, quite south of Victoria. Not quite as south as you can go. You've got places like Wilson's promontory there, that little bit sticking out basically into the Bass Strait. But here, just off the mainland, technically speaking, on the southern edge as well, with the Western Port Bay and the beginnings of the Bass Strait. They're pretty much whipping away against the southern edge of the circuit here. But a great venue, which has seen obviously a lot of success with GT racing, V8s, motorbikes, of course, as well. The MotoGP here being the place that we've seen in many years past. And it will now be our home here tonight for some more of this GT3 action. And as you said, very wet conditions currently in the session means that we're looking like it's going to be treacherous, to say the least.
Yeah, I was really expecting some of this rain to come through at Sandown. It would have made a lot of sense. But yeah, this track, as we look at it, looks pretty simple. It's nothing but that 12 turns, very fast flowing. I don't think you're going to be doing much fast flowing in the wet conditions, but the elevation changes will point that out as we're on board with some guys, especially as you come through Lukey Heights down into MG. Expect safety cars, plural, I should mention. Yeah, watching these guys in practice, I think it's going to be pretty treacherous out there. Tonight we're going to do some qualifying. Now, they told me it's going to be a 20-minute group qualifying, but it's not. It's just going to be one big qualifying session that they're out there doing right now. We're going to go straight into a 15-minute race. The weather looks horrible for that race. Race 2 looks a little bit better for the 45-minute race, with moderate rain sort of easing halfway through that race. So looking forward to a little bit of more fast-paced in the end of that 45-minute race. But yeah, this 15-minute race coming up, Dan, is going to be challenging, to say the least.
I mean, yeah, the fact that it's sort of light to moderate rain by the configuration options at the current time, expected to progress towards more moderate weather in that sprint race, as you said, coming up next. That will definitely be exciting. Well, exciting for us to watch. It's definitely going to be a handful, to say the least. Well, let's talk championship standings here. 7 rounds out of 9 in the books. And Cody Deeth, once again, continuing to sit comfortably on top there. That is a very healthy 450-point margin. And just to remind you, folks, there's a maximum of 305 points on offer at every single round. So with a good race here tonight, Cody Deeth will have the ANZ ESeries GT3 National Championship wrapped up a whole round early here to kick off this first iteration of this GT3 National Championship here on iRacing. But it's certainly up for grabs for second there. Aaron Dylan Burst, whilst has been strong, he's had a couple of hits and misses along the way, meaning that he is under threat there from Zach Ratcheright and possibly Jamie Christensen as well there, the 2 for Million Motorsports Ferrari sitting 3rd and 4th on the table at this stage. With Damon Woods, yes, he's P5 at the moment, but that will be, well, we've seen the last of him here in this season due to clashing commitments, so unfortunately it'll be his turn to drop back down the table.
Yeah, it's a shame not seeing Damon Woods out there. He really did take it to everyone in that championship. In the rounds that he was there, he clean swept one of the rounds, but we'll get back into some qualifying here. We're on board with Simon Nicholson at the moment. He's on a lap at the moment, not looking too fast. I have no idea what a good time is at the moment. The conditions are getting worse as we go on, so in practice, I just let everyone know there's a 1:37 done by, you guessed it, Cody Deeth. But I don't think they're going to be doing those sort of times in these conditions. There's puddles already starting to form as we come up here into Lukey Heights through turn 8, up here in turn 9 to Lukey Heights. This car's going to be dancing. If you're listening to this car at the moment, sorry I'm talking over it, but it's literally dancing through there. I don't think he's on a lap at this stage. Oh yes, he is. He's on a lap. Simon Nicholson as he comes through. One more corner to navigate as he comes through the turn 11 up into turn 12 back onto the Gardner Straight. So we'll see what sort of lap time he can do.
A bit of a snap of oversteer as he ran through the last corner. It won't be an improvement, unfortunately, for him there on that occasion. He's marked and slashed from 6/10 to, well, I was going to say 1/4 of a second, make it 1/2 a tenth. His teammate Matthew Dench now coming on strong here at this stage. So looking good for the PGZ Porsches, and definitely looking like tonight the Porsches are strong. That's a 1-2-3 with Nicholson, Dench and Adam Hughes joining them there in the crisscross number 95, which is something that we do see in the real world. Porsches being quite comfortable and strong in wet weather conditions. Cody Deeth had to bail out of that one there. That might have been Chicane, number 47 Ferrari.
That's not the first time Chicane's been in an incident through the series. He seems to be finding his way into the front of a lot of people at the moment, but yeah, that's unfortunate. I don't know what sort of lap he was on right there, but it would have been a good one. Cody Deeth has to go back into the pit, start again. Only a 20-minute qualifying, so he has to get some heat back into those tyres. He's going to take about 3 minutes to get back around and have another hot lap at that. So hopefully that doesn't impede him too much. But with the conditions getting worse and worse, I'm sure it did, as I try and get back into the session with you guys at the moment.
Out on track, the doing the replay, and they're just trying to rejoin, but he's sitting right plumb on there. Well, these guys here, racing line, they'll be using every bit of the track they can, trying to find some space to work here as back live we go, and we see Nicholson in the gravel at the final turn. Dench was going through, but Seth Brown in the meantime, having changed over, I believe, to the Audi. Well, he was P1, I believe it's going to be, eclipsed by Matthew Dench. So in fact, looks like as these guys keep going here, burning fuel off, but also lap after lap on the tyres, meaning they will hopefully gain and gather up some temperature critically. They can go a little bit quicker, and with all of them out on track as well, that might also be helping to just dry the circuit the tiniest bit. And then that's the whole game of, well, where can you go to find the grip around here? The dry racing line, depending on how much rubber was down on it before the rain started, came on, it's been pouring rain the entire time in the sessions, more this game. How much rubber was there to start with? That will have less grip in the corners, but whether you can perhaps sort of force the car through on that typical line at certain speeds will be important to keep an eye out here in this session. And yeah, with a 20-minute session, or 20-minute session, it was scheduled with 35. They got released with 34 minutes on the clock, so we'll see these drivers go through until there are 14 minutes left on the clock before we get ready to go racing for the opening sprint. Just checking back in with Seth Brown here, see if he can go back towards the top of the table. Well, I should say the very top, because he's still up there in P2.
It's good that you mentioned the timer on that, because we were completely confused by that last round at Sandown. So it's good to know. 14 minutes. That's what we're looking for. That's when it's going to. That's when the top clock is actually going to strike 0. Seth Brown's going to come across the line now for a. Oh, this is a pretty nice time at the moment. That's going to cut up. No, it's not. It's going to be a little bit slower. What's that going to put him into? P2 at the moment. Seth Brown, so no improvement there. We're probably not going to see much improvement from the drivers. I'm surprised Matthew Dench went through before with that 137. I didn't think we were going to see any more 137. Stuart Ellis comes across the line now on a 140. No positions gained there. Simon Chadwick across the line now in their 957 livery there. What did he do? A 138? I think he did. They're all just crossing the line now. Oh my God, there's heaps of guys coming across. And Zach Rattray White in the Doing OK livery as well comes across. Yeah, no, they don't seem to be finding extra time at the moment. So at the moment, provisionally, we got Matthew Dench on pole there. I'd love to see. We've got Dylan Burst coming through now, but Cody Deeth, is he on a lap at the moment? We saw him with that incident with Chewy Kang. He was coming through. Oh, yeah. So this is going to be a pretty good lap, but yeah, he's losing the rears a little bit as he comes through into turn 12. Pretty tough to get back onto this Gardner straight. Just dancing on the throttle a little bit there as he gets down to full power. It's surprising, they come through here into turn 1 and they're doing over 200 k's an hour through turn 1 with these conditions, so we might have to jump on board with someone just to show the guys at home how this goes through. Oh, here we go, as we go through, like, they've washed off a lot of speed, but that is a lot of pace to be, as I said that, oh, he's just found the limits there on the left-hand side as he comes into turn 2. Tough corner, trying to keep that thing. It doesn't look like there's much water sitting on the inside of turn 2, so you can keep on the inside. Matthew Boylett, no improvement on time there either.
Making me wonder now all of a sudden, Aaron, if the rain continuing to drop on this circuit has meant the drivers can't go faster like I thought they might have been doing, although Jamie Christensen, threatening but not quite, he's going to end up in a 38.7, not beating his 38.1 that he's got that puts him in P3. So it might be a case of the fact the rain continuing to fall in this session steadily is meaning that they can't improve. All the tyres are gone either way for Christensen. That's definitely going to be an end of a run there as he doesn't find the fence, but he's well out in the weeds there on the approach to Southern Loop.
Yeah, those tyres that were warm are now ice cold now. You'll have to get some temperature back into there. Richie Stanaway out there on the track, which is nice to see. It's good to have some real world peak drivers out there at the moment. We're rubbing shoulders with these GT3 Championship drivers. We'll see what he comes across the line as. No improvement on that lap, but he's probably on a fly now.
And we also just jumped up into P6 as well to come within 6/10 of provisional pole position as we check in here. So 20 degrees air. Track is still 29 degrees Celsius despite the overcast skies and the rain. So it might be holding some temperature in that circuit. After that, says Cody Deeth comes across to start again. And now he's gone to P2, half a tenth, barely off of Matthew Dench's pole time. But then, unfortunately, going to lose it here in turn 2. So definitely throwing it in. But there we go. Deeth finally winding up to find the pace. It's just looking like it's going to take a bit of time in that Lamborghini here tonight. And well, that certainly does mean we are looking at an exciting race coming our way with more so not the pace of drivers, but just really how fast they're and how risky they're willing to drive and how close they might be in the main team.
I'm really surprised at the moment too. We've got a Porsche on top, Lamborghini in P2, an Audi P3, Ferrari P4, and then just and then the rest after that. But 4 manufacturers in the top 4. I'm looking forward to the start of this next race.
And here we go. So Zach Rattray White, not an improvement there for the 17 machine. The thing is, unfortunately, I'm actually been having some issues in the background, so I'm actually entirely reliant on our production feed here tonight to see what's up.
Well, that's surprising because me too at the moment. We're not being iRacing is not being very kind to us at the moment, but that's okay. We're professionals, and we'll bring you as much info as we can. With Jay Kennedy doing a massive job in the background. As long as Jay doesn't have any issues, we should be good tonight.
Well, as long as this very one screen that we're looking at here goes all right. Seth Brown, not an improvement there for the 05 Audi. Still P3 for now. Kang can crack under the 1 minute 40 barrier in that number 37 machines. He's just tiptoe it around the final turn up to the line. This might just make it. No, it's going to be just outside. So, no glass there.
I'm not sure if he might find himself a little bit of trouble for a bit of hindrance on Cody Deeth earlier in this qualifying session, but It probably won't matter anyway if he gets a penalty back in 19th, because there's nowhere to go from that. I did see, for everyone at home, we haven't seen Jake Maloney out there. He did join the session, and then he exited the session not long after that. So maybe we'll see him, maybe we won't, but that would mean there's 20 cars on the grid if he joins into the session at the moment. Cody Deeth, oh, is he on a... No, I was going to say. Oh, Gianni Lutsu. I didn't even know he was in here at the moment. He's just on an opening lap. I'm pretty sure he's only just joined into the session. Yeah, so we'll see how he goes. What car's in? He's in the Audi. Has he changed, or was he in Sandown? I'm pretty sure he's changed so many cars. I can't remember what he was in originally.
I believe that was a car change that happened at Sandown, if I'm understanding correctly.
Yeah, he was in a Ferrari originally, into an Audi. Stuck with the Audi.
Yeah, which might not be a bad bet. Given that if it's not a Porsche, Audi looks to have the greatest representation in the top 10 with Steph Brown, Dylan Burst and Lewis Greathead currently spearheading the charge for 4 rings. As coming down to the final 5 minutes of this session, at least the final 5 minutes before it will be cut off here tonight. Look to see, can anyone challenge Matthew Dench? Cody Deeth the closest at 0.06 off the provisional pole time. And then whether Seth Brown's got a couple more tenths in his Audi, currently sitting at just over 3 tenths down. As let's see here, Lutsu bails out, as I think that was Dench going through, although no clue on if he's at speed on this lap. And this might be close as he winds up around the final turn.
He has to get a really good run out of here onto the main straight, but oh no,
yeah,
he might have just not
a couple
quite
seconds short. Not much, but about a second or so short here.
That, you know, saying that, we say a second and it sounds like a long time. In the wet around this, how long's this track? It's 5 kilometres or something like that. It's not much, especially in the wet conditions. So it's just a corner. If you ask me, you can probably find a second on some of these corners. So, if you just find the dry line, which I'm looking from a eagle eye at the moment at this track, and there is so many puddles starting to form. Horrendous conditions for these guys out there. They're still putting in laps. They've got 4 minutes left on the clock and they're still smashing laps out. We just saw Simon Nicholson come across the line. He was just on an outlier. Jacob O'Reilly at the moment. We'll keep on board with him at this stage. He's looking to improve on a 139. I did see him in the practice session. He was doing a lot of laps. Oh, and that's not ideal. That is lawn mowing through the DRS sign, and that's his lap done. I can't believe he's gone. That would have been on for a 139 or 138 possibly if he didn't do that. So he was definitely on there. He's got enough time to go back around and have a dig at it, but that'll be the last lap he has.
Yeah, a little mistake there. That's unfortunate for him, but have another crack at it here in a couple of moments and see how he can make of it here. Dylan Burst winding up still, looking to try and go again in a little while here. So we'll wait and see what he can do in the next couple of minutes. As I just stop getting myself deafened. I've seemed to be able to get back into the server by completely nuking all of my configuration files.
And he's just coming through turn 2 now, Dylan Burst, and he's oh, he's got it. Oh, I was going to say, if we can stay on board with him for a second there, we might be able to find out some of these puddles. Oh, I like that shot. That is a great shot of that Audi R8 engine working really, really hard. As he comes down here into Miller Corner, turn 4, he was on the brakes really early, and it wasn't early enough. Oh no, he's a dry line out there. He seems to find a little bit of pace through turn 4. This is called turn 5. I don't know why. It's straight into Siberia. Great corner. You dancing on the throttle, trying to find a bit of grip. He's lost the rear just a little bit, but he's on the power. Get on the power early. This is all uphill from here. You go through turn 7s, 8, and turn 9 is at the top of Lukey Heights, and it's all uphill from turn 6 onwards. So getting that drive out there is super important. Another turn, you're literally just dancing on that throttle, trying to get that car turned in. The tyres don't want to do anything. You come down here into MG. Oh, I like that shot. Very nice, Jay. And he's just lost the rear a little bit as he comes through into turn 11. He's looking good. This time's looking good. He hasn't done a representative time, is that correct? Oh no, he has. He's done a 138.2. Coming through turn 12. Will he spray it? No, he hasn't. He's held on to it. comes across the line. It's not going to improve, unfortunately. It's going to be a full second and a half slower than his best lap. So stays in P7. That's good, actually. Thanks, Jay, for jumping on board there. For people watching at home, it's pretty tough conditions out there for the GT3 drivers at the moment. Got a feel from a little bit, but not too much. We'll enjoy all the action from in the dry. Well, they're virtually dry, but yeah.
Yeah, indeed. Well, don't forget, when they end this session here in a minute's time, they're going to basically be a hard cut. So I don't think anyone here in the opening sector is going to have a chance to finish lap. So Marino Morello is not going to get through there to complete his lap. We almost want to jump forward if we can to someone such as Simon Cox at Siberia. Maybe Dylan Burst, who's also at Siberia, being one of our last cars to get through before the end of the session. But it also means to take your way forward to the drivers coming to the line now. Brad Newman there was coming to the line. Looks like he's not going to improve. No time set there for him. Next car coming around the final turn. Adam Hughes here on screen with us now on the 95 for Blackout OPR. What can this Porsche do? Sitting P9 at the moment. Aaron, as he tries to use all of the track and then some, but you can see there it's well off the mark, unfortunately. So that will not be an improvement for him tonight. And that will mean that's going to be just about it. Can Simon Cox get here before they call checkers? I think he'll get here and it'll count. Whether it's an improvement, no. He might get a second here.
No improvement, but it's surprising that these guys are still doing out 138s and putting out 138s and 139s around this track. This race is closer than I thought it might be. Who was that giving it a bit of flair over the checkered line? That was first, was it? Yeah, okay then. So that's the end of qualifying, I think. Does Morello get across the line? He does. Actually, this time he's going to get... No, it's a little bit... No, it is faster. That actually puts him up a position. Well done, Moreno. He's gone up a little bit. Matthew Dench comes across the line. No quicker at the moment, so I think... I'm going to call it here, guys, that Matthew Dench might have provisional pole here. I can't see anyone else out there on a flyer. The conditions are getting worse as we speak. Seth Brown comes across the line now. It's going to be a 138, I'd imagine. Yes, a 138.1, so he's 2/10 within his fastest time. Not good enough to get up into P2 and take Cody D's spot at the moment. Adam Hughes, I'm so surprised this timer has not clicked over yet. Adam Hughes is going to come across as well. We'll see where he ends up. His fastest lap was a 138. I'm looking at his times at the moment. That is not going to do the job, and yes, that's definitely not going to do anything out there other than find the boundary. That was interesting, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, a bit of a flurry of progress, then a stall out there in the middle of the session, and then a little bit more at the end. But we advance to the gridding section, and well, if you didn't quite catch that there, the rain is here, and it's coming down just that little bit harder again on top of all of this. So let's start talking about our gridding order for this sprint race here to kick off the action at Phillip Island tonight. It will be Matthew Dench from Cody Death on the front row here tonight, and it's going to be the first time that Death, when he has been here, hasn't been on pole, if I'm not mistaken, this season. It's an all-Vermilion road too, with Seth Brown and Jamie Christensen looking steady there to kick things off here tonight. Simon Nicholson next to our team, PGZ Cars and P5, going to share that third row with another Porsche in the form of Matthew Boyle up there for Dynamic Sim Sports. Dylan Burst, see if he can support Cody up front, but he's got to get there from P7 to kick things off. And Matthew Boyd's teammate, Stuart Ellis, right in behind there with a P8 starting mission for this race. And the top 10 going to be rendered out by Adam Hughes in the first of the Blackout OPR Porsches, with Lewis Greyhead there in the number 12 for Vermilion on his outside.
That top 10 looks very exciting, actually, as we move on down the grid. P11, we've got Morella in P11 with Zach Retro right beside him in P12. Nothing between those two, 2/10 between them. As we go back, we see Brad Newman in the bus in P13, Simon Chadwick in the 9.5 Sim Sports entry in P14. We move further back to into P15, where we got Richie Stanaway in the Lobs Esports entry, looking sharp, alongside Jacob O'Reilly. And he would, I think he's in a Ferrari at the moment, which is not all that quick at the moment. Simon Cox in P17. P18 is Nathan Gardner, the privateer, We'll watch him push through the grid at the moment. Chewy Kang rounds up the end of it. I don't think Maloney's going to be there at the end. And Gianni Lutsu was out there for a second, and I don't even know if he had wets on. It didn't look like it at the time, but that rounds up about 20 cars on the grid as we go into this little sprint to the grid for the feature race. But it's going to be nothing but a sprint. This is all about endurance for 15 minutes, I'd say.
It's, one of the more interesting uses of the term endurance, but it very much fits the bill here today with 40 seconds going to be waiting here before we roll away. It's a full formation lap as well, so that will be interesting to watch out for to see how the drivers can handle that here too. As I said, short race, usually being an out-and-out sprint where drivers make every position they can for the feature. Now it's going to be a matter of staying on the tarmac, stay away from the painted lines, stay away from the worst of those puddles, and make sure that when you get to the checkered flag, you've at least kept yourself in the right spot. If not, found a way to move forward. That's the sound of our field as they're lining up on the grid, waiting to get rolling. And in about 2 seconds, that iRacing race car should start pulling away out the front.
Jay, I just got to mention that is some great camera work there at the moment, looking at the grid. All I was doing is looking at the puddles. If you're at home watching at the moment, you see some puddles starting to form on the inside there. This lap with these guys going out there, all they're going to be doing is looking for somewhat of a dry line, somewhere where there's not a puddle where they can find some time. If you can get traction, it's all about traction. Unfortunately for this race, if you can find more traction than the guy in front of you, you'll win this race. It's anyone's. I can't call it this at this point. We saw Matthew Dench and Cody Dees putting on some really fast laps in the wet, but gee whiz, if you have one wrong turn here and you get yourself out in the weeds, that's your night over, and you'll be starting from the back of the grid. Just like one of our local here, Gianna Lutsu, is going to be at the back with so much spray, it'll be ridiculous. We'll have to jump on board with some of these guys at the back after probably lap 1 or 2 and just see what the conditions are like for these drivers. Now, it does look like it's worsening, but it's still a lot of daylight out there. There's a lot of geez, that's a great view of the Bass Strait out there. So much spray for these drivers at the moment as well. Oh, thank you, Jay, taking us out to the Bass. It's getting colder. I'm just looking at that and getting cold.
I know what he's doing.
He's going to the ship.
Yep. And
whose boat is this?
Well, I don't know whose boat it is, but I do believe I know who's on. Well, at least I know there's 2 people on the boat. I just can't quite remember who exactly it is on the. Yeah, this is one of the lovely little Easter eggs that exists in iRacing. You can see it hanging out in the distance off of Siberia at turn 6. But yeah, well, if you didn't quite know who they were, yeah, Dale Earnhardt Jr. on the left, Steve Myers, iRacing president on the right. That is
that's brilliant.
Little thing they insert into every single racetrack somewhere in the background. And I'm being told in the background that the ship, Aaron, belonging to iRacing sort of investor owner John Henry, who you might know through Liverpool Football Club, and I believe was it the Boston Red Sox, and Major League Baseball is his other major investment as well.
I'm glad we had the encyclopedia in our ears just then helping us out with that, because I had no clue, to be honest there, Dan.
It's one of those little bits of iRacing lore, if you will, that you sort of learn about if you go looking for it. But I'll have to worry about that another time, I guess. Because iRacing pace car comes through turn 11, and it's about time to get ready to pull in here and hand the field over to Matthew Dench in the 83 machine. It'll be his turn. First time this season to lead the field away in a race of the ANZ ESeries GT3 National Championship. Round 8, race number 1, the sprint to the grid for our feature coming up here in just a couple of minutes' time. He puts the hammer down on the start-finish straight, and we go green as these guys now have to navigate a full field of this. Just that absolute no vision whatsoever for everyone behind. Let's see who gets through turn 1. A-OK. Deedson, he's in the grass straight away.
I'm just watching at the moment, like we said there was about 20 cars on the grid. I didn't see any of them. I saw the front guys at the front there, and that's about it. There was just spray behind. As we saw, was that Simon Chadwick? Simon Chadwick's off the road as well, and he's rejoined at the back in P18. Johnny Lutu made up a few positions as well through that, but yes, Nathan Gardner, Cody. Hang on, was that Cody Deeth that I saw go off the track?
Cody Deeth, your championship. Oh, Adam Hughes is off. Adam Hughes is going to bowl the field if they're unlucky. Oh, he misses everyone just at Miller Corner. How
we'll
he
have to
missed
go to a replay of
everyone at Miller. My word, I don't believe I've ever seen anything like that there. But yeah, Cody Deeth off at turn 1. Completely missed. Yeah, just ran in way too hot. Had to run to the gravel here into the back of the field. Yeah, Nathan Gardner, as you said, had a bit of a slip up on the inside of turn 1, and then this here from Adam Hughes heading down into the Miller corner. The car just did not pull up as I think he might have grabbed a puddle, or he tried to go round the outside to avoid the spray, and he's run off the road on the process through Stoner Corner.
That is crazy. That is crazy. He had nowhere to go. He decided to put it. I think he had his foot on the brake. We'll have to go find out what happened there. But yeah, this is the start. The start here was incredible. The spray that these guys are looking at through the window, you can't see a thing. And we saw who we on board with at the moment. Gianni Lutsu. So he's right at the back of the field. Can't see anything. He made up a few positions. So we'll see how he did that through turn 1. He stuck to the inside. He didn't want to be out in the weeds on the left. He's probably going to pass a few guys. Yeah, we see them trying to enter back on now. Chaos. And no safety car either, which I'm surprised about. As they come through, everyone seemed to get back on the track. Nathan Gardner, although is a long way back on. That's that replay. Watching him go off the track there, he just... Oh, who's that? That's Zach Rattray.
Oh, Zach Rattray White done quite well the past couple of weeks to get up on the podium a handful of times, and now he's going to be buried towards the back of the field. As we look here, live pictures once again in front of the field, lap 2 of this sprint. So it's Matthew Dench, Jamie Christensen up to 2nd place, Seth Brown holding down 3rd, Simon Nicholson and Dylan Burst gaining spots to up to 4th and 5th as Marino Morella's found the outside of the Miller corner, and look at him tumble down from, I think that was about 7th to 14th in the process of just trying to gather that car up in a way that allows him to get away the gravel and the grass on the outside of the turn. It has been a nightmare and a half there for him, as Cody Deeth actually now threatening a top 10 once again. Is off through the hay shed. There we go. Who's that in front of him? Jacob O'Reilly.
Wow. Where's he going to come back on? Where's he going to come back on? Careful, careful, Jacob. He's found his way back on without causing an incident. Surprising. You mentioned just before Zach Rattray going off the track. In Sandown, we saw the complete opposite. We saw Zach Rattray White having an absolute blinder, and then we saw Dylan Burst, our P2 in the championship, had a shocker. So tables have turned within the space of 45 minutes of racing. So Zach Rattray White's going to be on the trying to claw back some positions now just to get some points in the bag.
Yeah, and that will obviously give Dylan Burst that chance to breathe going into the final round at Bathurst next week to consolidate P2 in the championship. As Seth Brown had the fastest lap of the race there on lap 2, but Brad Newman further on back's been able to do a little bit better, it seems, as we look at our top 3 trying to get through the southern loop, as Ferrari of Christensen's twitching as he tries to get the power down. Turbo V6, don't forget, it's got that extra bit of torque at the bottom end that the naturally aspirated Porsche in front and the Audi behind won't have necessarily, as they pile on in there. And it was so close between the two teammates that either rubbed him in the back or the Red Bull had to back off big time trying to be able to pull up.
So those leading cars that we were looking at, we had Matthew Dench, Jamie Christensen and Seth Brown had a nice little lead over the rest of the pack. Now that fight for first is 7 deep. Richie Stanaway makes up the rear of this little group trying to battle up there at the moment. So the more these guys battle, we just saw Seth Brown get into the back of Jamie Christensen just a little bit, just a nudge, doesn't take much, and it allowed Simon Nicholson to get in there as well. So this race is nothing but over. It's going to be exciting from green to checker at the moment, but just watching who's got the pace at the moment. Dylan Burst seems to have ultimate pace at the moment on this lap anyway. Oh no, as I said that, he's had a little bit of a slip. He's going to be in a slipstream. We might stay on board here as they come through turn 12 and just see what sort of run he's got and what visibility he has as he goes into turn 1. We saw them doing over 200 kilometers an hour into there. He can't see a thing, I can tell you. He's just trying to get a little bit of vision to see where he can find his braking marker. He's very wide. There seems to be a little bit of grip out wide, but You've got to be careful. And geez, he had a very good run through turn 1. As they come through into turn 2 here, just, oh, it's all over the back of Nicholson.
There it is, and this is again this little game of finding millimeters of grip. Oh, Jake O'Reilly's fallen to the very back of the field now, as he's had a moment at the final turn. So that's going to put him rough, to say the least. As to the top of the screen, Stuart Ellis, 5-second time penalty for incident over and down at NG. That would be turn number 10 here. So that's been a bit of a moment. There's Chu Kang, way out wide Miller corner.
Where is that?
So it's on the left-hand side approaching Miller corner. He's now what half a turn. Oh, he's lost it through Stoner.
Oh, wow. Wow, he's gone in. You normally see cars end up there as they come through turn 1. Oh, he's hit it as well. Well, that car is toast. They've done a good job mowing out there. They must have got that done before the rain set in. Looks great out there. He won't be able to get that car back on the track. Actually, I'm just watching. He's just got back on track now, and he's about a long way out the back of the grid at the moment. So, good luck, Chewy. It's wet out there, if you haven't noticed.
I think he has, just maybe. Unfortunately now shuffles him to the very back of the field. That was such a long way off the road, but it took him such a long time to even try and get back. It took him forever to get back into the circuit. But back to live pitches now here, 7 or just under 8 minutes left in this race. Unfortunately, I can't tell you what lap they're on, because I have been able to get back into the session. I've been told to go lap 5 a couple of times. But we'll look at the front of the field. How's this though? Jamie Christensen might have one of the twitchier cars under power with the Ferrari's turbochargers next to torque. Giving it to Matthew Dent in the middle of Southern Loop. Does lose out a little bit, it seems. He tries to put the power down, but it looks like the Ferrari in the right pair of hands might be able to hang on to itself in the mid-speed corners. Obviously, you lose a lot of speed compared to what we're used to seeing around this place, given the lack of grip. But the fact, again, still Porsche from Ferrari from Audi, so we're still seeing some decent representation here right at the pointy end of the field. Pretty decently as well, as we'll go on board with Richie Stanaway.
He's flying. Richie Stanaway is flying. His last lap was a 1:43.1. He's been eclipsed by Cody Death, but Cody Death and himself are the fastest guys out there at the moment. He's catching the back of Dylan Burse. Once he gets to him, I don't know what he's going to do to get around him, because there's not much tarmac that doesn't have some puddles all over it. But watch out for Cody Death. We just saw him at the start of the, as we stay on board with Richie, but Cody Death has off at turn 1 and now got himself back into P8, and he's going to be all over the back of Stuart Ellis here shortly as well. So yeah, watching yeah, there's Deathy as well. So, and Gianna Lutsu, yes, that's great that you've chucked on board with him there. He's come up 9 positions into P10. This is happening at the front here as well. Seth Brown has more ultimate pace at the moment than that Ferrari, so the Audi seems to be quicker in certain parts at the moment. The Porsche just seems to be stable through it all. As you said, Dan, it's more stable. Doesn't have all that torque issue at the moment, but yeah, I'm quite surprised that the Ferrari is up there at the front battling at the moment with P2.
Well, I just caught it there as we switch back to the battle for the lead. The Ferrari is extremely good through turn 1. He absolutely went from half a second to 2/10 in the space of maybe 100.
Oh, bit of a nudge.
And there's there at the Miller corner as well. He's got a bit more front end grip than Matthew Dench at the moment, and gets a bit of a nudge into the diffuser of the 83 for good measure. Now, whilst we were looking at all of that action there in the opening sector, Cody Death getting a move done on Stuart Ellis before Southern Loop. Let's see it here on the boom over replay, and just able to cross underneath, get over the dry line where the groove is, get some grip on the tyres, and then power around off the dry line through the Southern Loop to take that spot through turn 2.
So now this battle, the 2 fastest guys on the track, Richie Stanaway and Cody Death, are going to be locked in battle very shortly. That's going to be fun to watch. But yes, this battle up the front here, that's Simon Nicholson we're on board with at the moment. In front of him is Seth Brown. Seth Brown's actually taken it to Jamie Christensen. Could we jump on board with Jamie Christensen as he comes through turn 1? He's 8/10 back at the moment, and he just seems to find so much pace down this straight as they come into turn 1. He's going to make a liar of me at the moment, but he just has absolute ultimate pace. So he's a second behind Matthew Dench right now. Let's see how much he makes up as he goes through. And there it is. It's just...
He had speed through turn 1 last time round.
Look at that. He's just got ultimate pace through there. Like that's you're right. That's half a second he's gained on Matthew Dench just through turn 1. Oh, and I've just put the markers on him. I thought there for a second. But yeah, turn 1 and turn 2, he's got absolute pace, and then he comes down here into Miller and seems to outbrake Matthew Dench as well. So very fast through there, but the last bit of the that last sector, he's struggling in. So we'll see what he can do. He might have to hand over to his teammate to have a go at Matthew Dench shortly. I just heard from...
Oh, Deeth's off there on the inside.
Oh, you're joking. That's Cody Deeth and Gianni Lutsu. Gianni Lutsu's way off the track. We'll have to find out. I think there's been some contact between the both of them. It seems odd that that car's going nowhere. That could be a safety car, but there's only 3 minutes left. We're on lap 7 at the moment. He might be asking for a tow. So we're on board here. That's Gianni in that
it's
doing
separate
okay.
incidents. Like completely independent incidents.
Oh, wow.
So
and
yeah,
he's
Gianni,
reversed it straight in. Oh, that's
broke
not
the
well.
ankle,
We just
shattered
mentioned
the
it
right
before.
rear.
We got up into P8 or P10 or something like that. But oh, and he's got a wiggle through there. That was. Did he make contact?
Yeah, it's snagged on the front splitter of it's actually Richie Stanaway here was up behind.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. The front splitter on the Lamborghini, yeah, just absolutely dead. Nosedive, the user of that Lobs Esports Porsche, and just went absolutely nowhere as a result. She basically stopped the car and pivoted around on the rear axle. The warning that we've been given is that expect the rain to suddenly get a whole lot worse here with 2.5 minutes remaining. So we're looking at another 2 laps here around the Phillip Island circuit, and once again, Matthew Dench, he's strong in the final sector, but he's being absolutely harassed through turns 1 and 2. And look at that there. Now we're seeing the Porsche wiggle as he tries to get some power down to make a bit of margin, but it's a car length as they come through Stoner and Miller. Does Christensen have something here under brakes into this 4th corner of the circuit? Dench will cover the inside on sort of the wet line as you were, but then contact as they get almost stuck together here and try and find some traction on out of the corner, get away from the typical dry line perhaps, but for the most part looks like it's going to be staying on the dry lines. The Ferrari looking incredibly good on corner entry, and now in this back sector, there we go, full traction to get to Siberia. Opens up to about 2 or 3 car lengths as we head up towards the Haitian.
He finds 5 tenths from there to the start finish line. And then turn 1, turn 2, we saw what he can do. Seth Brown is behind him at the moment, and I'm sure that car has ultimate pace at the moment. He seems to be backing out of it through turn 1. He seems to be, when it comes through Siberia as well, sort of backing out a little bit. So he's doing the teammate thing, but maybe he could have had a shot at Matthew Dench and trying to get that position. But it's some great racing here. I'm very surprised with these guys at the moment. I'm very interested to see how Cody Deeth comes back at the moment, because he's back down in P11. He's been up and down the podium plenty of times. Zach Rocho White hasn't made, as we go through, there's the white flag, last lap. Seth's not going to have a go either.
I honestly think it's a case of just different strengths, because the Ferrari, strangely enough, despite Christensen's strength through turns 1 and 2, he looks very vulnerable through to the final corner at turn 12. And all of a sudden, Seth Brown ended up all over him.
I'm surprised it hasn't gone into the grass. Oh, he's going to get underneath him. That's Cody Deeth. Oh, contact! Is that Deeth around?
It is.
And you know what? That's surprising that he found the rear of that Brad Newman car, because that thing, as we've seen through the championship, is a bus that's got a very big rear end on that Porsche. And he found the rear of it.
Well, less than half a lap to go here in the sprint through the grid, and we've lost one of our regular contenders at the front in the form of Cody Deeth. He's going to have a lot of work to do in the 45-minute feature to try and get back towards the front and maybe put himself in a position to keep the margin high enough to win the championship tonight. And again, it might still be enough despite a rough sprint race result, but with 3 turns to go, is Dylan first there in the background. I mean, half a lob on Simon Nicholson, but he didn't get there in the end, so it'll be okay. They'll should finish as they were across the line, and Christensen had half a shot at Matthew Dench, but through turns 11 and 12 will come, and it looks like it will be the 83 PGZ Porsche.
Watch for Seth Brown.
White flag, and indeed, eyes on second place if we can. Does Seth Brown finally pull out from behind the Ferrari? He does. He got stalled for the final turn, and they will cross the line side by side with Christensen in front for second.
Great racing from everyone out there. There was a few incidents, but the rain didn't hinder the excitement for everyone at the moment. That was some great racing throughout the field. Zach Rattray White and Cody D were in a race to forget, unfortunately, but there's some championship. That's P1 and P3 in the championship, down in P12 and 14th respectively. So yeah, not great for those guys. Did Gianni Lutsu, he might have put that thing in the pits, I think, and maybe exited stage left, possibly. I'm not sure what happened there, but I'm surprised that he wouldn't get back out there and try and get some positions back.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see if we can figure it out with the results. I'll have to let you guys let me know. But I get the feeling, yeah, late in the race, probably not all that much value. If he couldn't drive it back to the pits, might not have been able to get back out before the race was over. Looks like Shu Kang might be our last finisher here as he brings it around the final turn, and just the trepidation and cautious driving there from the number 37 compared to what we've seen up front. You can tell that's perhaps a driver who's not quite on the pace, but we will now look at the race results here from this opening sprint. Matthew Dench from Jamie Christensen and Seth Brown, your top three, with Simon Mickelson there almost in with a shot with it, but have to settle for fourth. And Dylan Burse also with a late lunge will have to stay back in P5 to wrap things up there. With Richie Senaway, Stuart Ellis, Lewis Greyhead, Marino Morella, and Brad Newman rounding out your top 10 there. And definitely an exciting bit of a firecracker. And there you go, 18 classified finishes for that one there, Aaron.
Yeah, we got through 11 to 18. Simon Cox and Cody Deeth, there's a big name in there. Simon Chadwick, we know he's got pace as well. He's back in 13th. Zach Rattray White, as I mentioned before, P14. Adam Hughes, we saw him have that massive off at the start of that race. Nathan Gardner, Jacob O'Reilly, Chewy Kang rounds it up with Gianna Lutsu and Matthew Boylett ending up in the pits to finish off that race, and I don't think they'll be classified as finishers. So we got 1 minute of warming up, which I don't think you can do out there at the moment. I'd imagine that the guys will be trying to stay warm, I think, inside the virtual garages. Now, for everyone at home, we're going into a 45-minute race. The rain has settled in. I don't see much ease in the next half an hour, but there is something on the cards. I'd imagine about half an hour it will die off a bit, but it's not going to make any difference to the track. It's only going to get worse as this race goes on. So we did see a lot of the front runners go to the back of the field there at the start. I think in 45 minutes you'll have enough time to get back onto the pace and get back, especially with the pit stop as well. So yeah, a lot to play out for. I'm not sure about fuel numbers, not sure about if there's an undercut available in the wet. It's all just up in the air, so really looking forward to this one, Dan.
Well, the main thing expecting would be, with the forecast of rain being pretty consistent throughout the session, drivers will probably keep the same tyres on start to finish. And we really haven't seen tyre strategy be much of a thing given the shortish nature of the races here. Mind you, all intents and purposes, has just been shown a rain forecast. And I'm seeing some fairly heavy patches. Now, whether they're actually blowing onto the circuit or whether they're blowing away from the circuit, that hasn't quite been confirmed. I suspect towards might be the odds on the cards. But, well, as they finish that race, this is how they will line up for our feature tonight. Matthew Dench to get a second chance to lead them away from the front of the field, this time sharing the front row with Jamie Christensen in that Ferrari. And how will that play out over the course of a longer race? We'll have to wait and see. Seth Brown, will he finally let the shackles off the 05 Audi and go for second place, maybe even P1? That's something to look out for, as Simon Nicholson will share the second row with him. Dylan Burse, now the leading driver for Eclipse in that race, and see if he can start strong from P5. Going to share the third row, Richie Stanaway in that Falcon Lobs Esports Porsche. Once again, looking strong here today. Stuart Ellis, next of our Porsche cars. We did see 5-second time penalty will affect his results later on, but we'll start out of P7 for this one. Lewis Greyhead alongside in 8th place, next to our Audis there in the number 12 with the front half of the field. And your top 10 rounded out by Marino Morella in the Porsche from Visceral Esports. Also another Porsche alongside there in the hands of Brad Newman in that second Falcon Lobs Esports machine.
P11, the BMA, Simon Cox out there, finished pretty strong in that last race. Cody Deeth is beside him, so Simon's going to play his cards right. He might just try and follow him through. Simon Chadwick in P13 alongside Zach Rattray White. So we've got some big names in the championship at the back of the grid here. Watch for that little row of cars there, those 2 rows. The 7th row of the grid. As we go back to Adam Hughes in the Blackout OPR, he had a shocker in that first race back in P15, P16 to Nathan Gardner. So an well, he's in an OPR car, but I'm not sure if he's it's got him as a privateer. Jacob O'Reilly in the Vermilion Esports livery in number 17. Chewy Kang made up a position into 18th. Gianno Lutsu is hopefully back out there on the grid at the moment in P19. Matthew Boylett needs some redemption from P20, and that should make up the grid. We've got 20 cars out there. I'm just trying to see if Gianni came back in. We saw, probably no Gianni out there at the moment, which I'm surprised about because that car had pace in that race. He made up about 10 positions before a bit of a wobble as he went through. Richie Stanaway is on dry tyres. He has stuffed up like you would not believe. He will not make the outlap, I wouldn't think.
Oh dear. Well, that is, as I said, a monumental blunder. Honestly, we might see here on this formation that
He'll have to pit.
That first Falcon Love Porsche. Let's just see here on board now with him through turn 1. He might be able to gently coax it into the corners, but even say down at any of these turns here, he might struggle with the number 19 just not making the turn as you'd expect here.
Yeah, it's not turning. It's not turning. He's putting some input in there. That's nearly full lock on that thing, and he's getting a little bit out of it. He's brave enough to get some pace into it. He's trying to. Oh, I hope he knows he's on dries. It's hard. It's very easy to do what Richie's just done there, and to go out and dry tyres. It's literally a checkbox in the iRacing service. So look for him to come into the pits, I'd imagine.
Yeah, well, that's definitely not done himself any favours there, but I guess you could say it'll be what it'll be now at this point. So time to see what he can make. Well, there should be anything he can make of it. That is, like I said, the whole point there of that discussion. Yeah.
He's going to pray for a safety car. If he comes into the pits, put some wets on it. He's got ultimate pace, so we saw his car and Cody Deeth were probably the fastest out there on track. So yeah, all it would take is a safety car. I am so surprised we didn't see one in that first race. All the incidents were happened off track. No one sort of come back on. There was some close calls in that first race. I'm so surprised. I forget who it was that came off the track and came across the bow of Matthew Dench, but yeah, it could have been a completely different outcome to that first race and for the leaders as well. So let's see how this plays out. We've got 45 minutes. We have to settle in. If you're watching at home, I see a lot of people on the stream talking. We've got Maddie in there, Sam, Harry Dodds having a chat. Tristo, hope you're feeling better, mate, is in there as well. So if you want to comment, you want to jump on board with anyone, let me know. Let us know who your favourite race car driver is. Or that's on the field at the moment, would be handy. Otherwise, we won't be able to go on board with them. As they come through the start of this race, I'm trying to work out where they are right now at the moment. So here we go. We're going to have Matthew Dench leading them out again. We'll jump on board with him here. Yes, I think that's a better view for me to watch. So safety car is in. They're going to get racing. We're going to watch for him in the inside. He's gone already. He's taken off. It's just absolute spray for the guys behind him. We saw some cars go off at turn 1. We'll see how good they are through here. I think Seth Graham's going to have a run on Jamie Christensen into turn 1. He's got underneath him, I think.
Christensen's off.
Oh, Christensen's gone. He's out in the weeds. He's where Chewy Kang was in the first race. We can't even see him on the screen there. Oh, no. I'm just trying to work it. That's Brad Newman off the track.
Oh, we've got 6 cars off.
That has to be a
five
safety car,
cars
sure.
off.
Now,
Yep, safety car instantly scrambled. Cody Deeth, Adam Hughes, Simon Chadwick, Brad Newman, and Jamie Christensen.
Richie Stanaway stayed out.
The thing is, I think there's been a bit of a glitch in the system there because he went through turn 1 without too many issues.
No,
And
nothing at all.
So I think that might just he might be on wets despite our data sensors. Yeah, Chukang, Cody Deeth, Brad Newman, Adam Hughes, and Simon Cherry all off in the grass at Southern Loop on that race start. We're gonna have to pick up a Burley Motor Group replay to try and.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at the moment to see where it all unfolded, and it was just chaos. Oh, I think there was a bit of movement through turn 1. I was just trying to pick up at the back of the grid there. So
Eyes on Newman and Deeth here.
that's Deeth on the inside in the red and white car. Oh, big contact in the front of Newman. Who was that in the front of Newman?
It was Marina Morella, and then there's been a separate instance. So yeah, Newman's gone in. It seems a little hot relative to Morella. So yeah, runs into the back of runs into the back of the number 7, and then spears across into Deeth in the 70, number 3. Now, separate to that, Adam Hughes, Nathan Gardner, and on board with Marina Morella, Brad Newman there in behind. So we come to turn 1
That is completely separate, isn't it? Yeah, you're right.
and then bang, and yeah, independent of all that in behind, we've had Hughes, Chadwick, and Kang have big old crash.
Was Simon Cox involved in that too? Because he was on the inside. I saw him go through turn 1, and he just he's oh my gosh! If we can go back to the number 95, that's what we need to see. Jump on board with the number 95, Adam Hughes, and that should show us what happened there through turn 1. So someone was just yes, a little bit hot going through. And that is a lot of virtual money, cha-ching, 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 going everywhere right there, because a lot of guys damaged. I imagine a few of them come into the pits as well. We're still under safety car at the moment. We're probably going to lose a couple of laps under safety car while we get all this sorted out. I'd imagine race control has been mentioned probably 2 or 3 times after that incident, so race control's got their hands full. What I can tell you though, Matthew Dench still at the front. Seth Brown stayed in there behind him, but I'm trying to work out where the rest of them landed after that, because Zach White actually made up a few positions into P7. Richie Stanaway, we think he's on wets. He's still in P5. Dylan Burr still there in P4, but Jamie Christensen is now down in P14 after that incident at turn 1.
Christensen was right by himself at turn 1. Here we go, on board with number 5 here at the race.
Great view.
Dench gets a nice clean jump there on the inside. Seth Brown does get the run to charge up behind, and then just he's in the puddles. He's just in the puddles there on the left-hand side of the circuit. There is no grip there. He
went faster. He put his brake on and actually went faster.
And so
he's joined back on to see all the chaos unfolding up here.
Yeah, you just spot that there for those 5 cars, and lo and behold, get back on track.
Oh, that's tough coming through. Oh no!
Yeah, and the safety car had been called just as Deeth was getting back on the circuit, so that's how they end up in the water, I do believe. Well, we now get back to live pitches, and I believe most of the field has been collected now, so the exception of Chu Kang apparently, so we might be going at least another lap round here, it seems. Yep, Chu Kang's off on his lonesome in the number 37, catching up to the field. Over a minute in the pits already this early in the race.
Yeah, that's great. We're getting down to that magical 30-minute mark as well. where you just come in and fuel and get home. Another safety car could pop him in if you were good on fuel. You could possibly get home. So yeah, we're just seeing a couple of guys coming to the pits now. So we've got Adam Hughes, and that's Brad Newman coming in as well. They're getting just that's a long pit stop for Brad Newman, and it doesn't look like that thing's getting fixed.
I would suspect it's choosing to do damage repair without burning up a fast repair if they do have one.
Yeah, I'm just watching it now on the timing.
Also, mind you, consider the fact that it's usually about 30 minutes on a tank in dry conditions.
Yes.
To my knowledge, they haven't changed anything about the setup to limit the fuel tank specifically to account for wet weather pace and performance. So laps here under safety car plus slower outright pace, obviously, in the wet. We could see drivers there like Adam Hughes and Brad Newman have enough fuel now. They would probably still have to save a little bit of fuel, but could probably make it to the end without too much fuss. Yes, a second safety car would almost certainly guarantee them, and also would probably allow them to cycle forward to the front of the train and then take it from there. So all possibilities to consider here as we're just waiting for confirmation of the safety car coming in at some point in this not too distant future, we hope.
Yeah, the ups and downs of motorsport. It would be absolutely incredible if we see Chewy Kang and Brad Newman go to the front of this field because of an incident that they had at turn 2. But that's what it's all about. So it could play into their hands a bit of strategy if that safety car's going to pull it out. It does look like that safety car's coming. Just jumping on board now with Matthew Dench to watch that safety car peel in very shortly. So we've had 3 laps under safety car, a long time. That's we've burnt up about 7 minutes of racing. Sorry for the folks at home, but that's how long it's taken to get all these cars back on track and in formation. As the safety car does peel away, and we're about to go racing single file now into turn 1. We're going to have. I wonder when Dench is going to go. He'll probably go pretty late, I'd imagine, close to the start-finish line. He does not want the power of that Audi behind him to be pushing at all, and he is right up on his bumper, ready for this to take off as well. So still on board here. I know we get a bit of an aerial view at the moment. Coming through turn 12. Oh, and he's off. He's taken off already. He's gapped him a little bit. That was he's left a couple of the guys napping. Not Seth Brown and not Simon Nicholson. They have stayed right with him. Richie Stenaway didn't just make up the position on the restart.
Simon Nicholson dropping down the order. Whether he comes back into the server or not, we'll have to wait and see. He's already dropped out of the top 4, so that's probably goodbye to Nicholson unless he magically reappears. But back green once again here, 36.5 minutes on the clock. I'm actually impressed to see that despite the what would have been stone cold tyres, we haven't had any issues there with drivers making mistakes at turn 1 as they came barreling down at speed. But here we go, Miller corner for the first time at racing speeds in this feature. Under brakes we go. You can see them all scrabbling for a bit of just a sight line on the circuit, trying to get out of the spray, trying an alternate line as well for good measure, so you're actually not running down slippery stuff in the wet. As Cody Deed, speaking of slippery, has a wiggle of his Lamborghini in Siberia, but come out with a side ahead. Press on. Yeah,
he had a bit of a wiggle there, but he got it going. He had heaps more drive than Nathan Gardner over there. He's already gapped him by 7/10. So he's on a mission, Cody Deed, to get some positions back before that first pit stop. We've got to keep an eye on Richie Stenaway, I think, at the front here. He's looking pacey. He's got it. Dylan Burse I'm not going to say holding him up at the moment, but he's going to have to try and get through that first before he has a dig at Seth Brown and Matthew Dench. But on current pace, he's looking the fastest out of those guys at the front of him. In certain sectors, the sectors are looking good for him. So we saw Matthew Dench come across the line with a 1:43 on that opening lap, pretty quick. Seth Brown was on that as well. Dylan Burse with 1:44 and Richie Stenaway with a 1:45. So, that's just a pass from. Is that Jacob O'Reilly?
It is.
Yeah, that's Jacob O'Reilly. That's he found right in the corner. He's done the right thing. He's reversed it, getting back on the tarmac. Oh, and Lewis Greathead as well is out in the weeds. That's going to put him to the back of the pack, down with his teammate Jacob O'Reilly as well.
And this, let's see here, has this been solo or has this happened? Yeah, it has been. They're too hot into the southern loop, trying to fend off Cody Death, and around he goes. I was going to say there was a little bit of elbows out between Brad Newman and Jacob O'Reilly across the top of the there on that first of the Burling Motor Group replays on that restart lap. And it just got the 222 unsettled to the point where it then spun itself loose, coming down on the brakes as they drop down the hill here. But back live with the front of the field. Once again, we see here, and they try and find grip here, just hunting for any bit of not super smooth asphalt where the dry line normally would be. Get the power down, cross over the dry line where you have to. And hope your traction control is useful, as that's on board. Seth Brown having a massive snap through turn 12. Still keeps his foot committed and into it, I do believe, here as we reach top speeds. And yeah, he's definitely lost about a tenth of a second or so.
That is commitment.
As a result.
That is absolute commitment. He was not letting go of that car. He wants to stick with Matthew Dench. He doesn't want to lose that. You've got to stay within the second just to be in that tow. But wow, yeah, if we can get a little bit of a replay here. So I can tell you, he's on board. He can't see a thing. It's going to snap on him.
And Vittori has just back there in the middle of the corner. It looks quite minor from that exterior shot, but I can tell you, it definitely looked a lot worse when we were on board with him, that's for sure. But he carries on and tries to get back on the pressure with the race leader, but he ends up going a little hot through Miller corner. Might be under pressure from Dylan Burst. Meanwhile, three wide leaders. Morellas ended up off outside of the Miller corner. Cody Death now threatening Matthew Boyle's being told issues for Richie Centaway. He's dropping down the order and might not be able to make it back in, which would put him a lap down like Simon Nicholson has ended up. He is back out on track despite having dropped out on that restart. Tragically there for them. All this now means it's three cars starting to break away, relatively speaking, at the front of the field. Death trying to carve his way back through. This is obviously critical for him, of course. He might be able to get enough points here to get the championship sorted. He's in the back of Boyle as they head down into MG. The gap door never opening for him there under brakes. And you can see here, hard to the right, carve back across the track, try and find a bit of grip. We've also been told rain potentially easing here in the session, Aaron, and it might even get put to stop. Now, in saying that, I wouldn't expect the track to dry out in any substantial amount that we might be seeing a dry tyre changeover window in this event. It's been raining basically the entire time. That'll soak the circuit, and unless the sun came out and the temperature skyrocketed upwards, I would expect to stay in a wet condition for the rest of this race. But managing tyres might become valuable as Death around the outside of Boyle. At least he tried. Couldn't make it stick. Can he get the over-under? He's looking for traction, and he might just have it here, but he's now going to go the long way around once we get down to the Miller corner here, Aaron, as he has to go left side of the road through Stoner.
I'm just watching at the moment with guys dropping out of the server. There must be some issues with the iRacing server at the moment, because we've seen Seth Brown now as the another victim of it. He's dropped out. Richie Stanaway's dropped out as well. We've had a few at the moment. I've personally had some issues, and you have as well. So hopefully these gremlins stay away, because the races are about to get very intense, especially at the front here with Zach Retro White now in P3, chasing down Dylan Burst. So yeah, this little battle at the back here. Are we on board there with Jamie Christensen, I'd imagine? No, Zach Rattray. Sorry. The cars all look the same. They need to do something about that. For P3, he's looking pretty racy. He's lucky enough that Richie Stanaway's had some connection issues, because he was going to be pushing these guys at the front. We jumped on board with Jamie Christensen just now, as he's fighting at the moment for P8, I think, behind Morella. Now we saw a little bit of what sort of cars? He's in the Ferrari. Oh, that is a moment. We see these cars having twitchy through turn 12, and that's awesome. Just hanging on to it, keeping your foot into it as they come down here into turn 1 again. Let's see how fast this thing can go. We saw the other Ferraris going pretty quick through here. We actually saw Jamie Christian go quick through here, and that's going to be a little bit too quick. Oh, he's found the limits. So he's got a lot of work to do. Still got a pit stop to come. At the moment, it doesn't look like any safety cars are going to come out at the moment. These guys are looking pretty in a groove at the moment. Cody Deeth is about to put a move on Matthew Boylett, I think, very shortly. We might have to jump to that when we can. Cody Deeth is all over the back of Matthew Boylett at the moment. And the number 3 car versus the number 80 car. And a fastest lap comes up for Simon Nichols. Oh, he's back on track. Obviously, he's out by himself at the moment, which is a shame because those connection drops at the moment have been nothing but the worst timing you could ever think of. Simon Nichols was actually in P4 or P3 when that happened, so he's a lap down. No way to recover from that in this really tight field.
Safety car late on, but as you said, things seem to be settling in at this stage of the race. But yeah, having lost Nicholson, Brown, Stanaway effectively from this one, it's been pretty brutal. And yeah, let alone the two of us having a hard time just trying to even watch the race. And also, yeah, producer Jay also noting that he's having, thankfully, at least one computer working as Newman. Oh, Chadwick out wide. Chadwick in the fence. Now, I'm hoping that just looks like just water spray, although cuts across the circuit a little bit there as he tries to gather it up. We'll rejoin now in 15th, I think that was there, as we'll have a look at it. And another just solid Ferrari snap right there in the middle of turn 12. Oh, he's got a helping hand from Brad Newman. Oh dear.
Did Brad Newman actually collect him in the back there, or was I think he did.
I'm 95% certain he's drilled him in the back. As Chadwick's tried to hang on to it. And then, there we go. Actually gets it over the pit wall and allows these cars to go by without any fuss. So, it takes a load of damage to the right rear corner, and it's now wiggling through Stoner. That might just be, well, at the very least, completely out of alignment, let alone just a mechanical black flag there. But we'll have to see if he carries on like so. Back at the front. 0.3 of a second now, Dylan Burst. It's his turn to see if he can apply the pressure on your race leader. Is one last time for a replay here. This is what it looks like from Brad Newman. I think you'll see here, you should get the left rear. Big 45 in Chadwick, and
in the defence there. Actually, I'm not going to go to the defence of anyone, but hard to see. You think the car's going to spear right anyway. He could have backed out of it, to be honest, Brad Newman. That right foot could have backed out of it and maybe saved his life, but here we go, and the penalty's been handed down for the contact. Oh, that's different context. Oh, wow!
They're both going to ball off the road turn 1. Ratchway White inherits the race lead. Ellis and Boylett to second. Cody Deeth promoted to 4th in all of this. Matthew Dench is going to drop outside the top 10 as Burst rejoins in 7th. How did they ended up locking horns in such a way there at turn 1 that neither car makes it through the corner? My goodness.
We'll have to get a replay of what happened there, but we saw it at the start of this race on the outside. There's no grip, so we're going to see on the outside here. That's Ellis. Oh, who was that at the outside?
It's Dylan Burst on the outside, Dench on the inside.
Burst.
Oh, it gets stuck together in the middle of the corner. They literally get stuck together in the middle of the road, middle of the corner, and as a result, both cars just plow way wide. Arguably, the 83 there of Dench just understeering a tiny bit as he got to what would be the grippier part of the road in dry conditions, and just the car doesn't have as much grip when you're on the natural dry line of the circuit. It just looks like from Ratchway White, just there's the spray, and all of a sudden the spray departs and stage left.
Well, the seas have absolutely parted ways for him at the moment. So we're on board with Nathan Gardner now in another Burnley Motor Group replay. So he's come through here as he's watching these guys rejoin. Yep. Oh, and he's just... I don't think he had his eyes on the road. Oh, that turned into a helicopter.
Yeah, that gravel has not done a lot to slow him down. Wet grass has sent him careening off the road, something fierce, and no surprises that completely broken right rear corner has warranted a mechanical black flag for 22. There we go. Burst responds straight to the pit lane for the Eclipse Sim Sports machine to top off on fuel and get back out there. 24, just under 25 minutes left in this race, I should say. But a complete shake-up of the order. Retro White recovering now to take the race lead after spinning off in the opening sprint. The Dynamic Sim Sports teammates of Matthew Boylett and Stuart Ellis going at it side by side through Stoner Corner, and Boylett will come out ahead on that occasion. Cody Deeth right in behind. Ellis now looking to try and find a way through. No, he's not. Once again, Miller Corner is going to claim Cody Deeth victim. He drops back to P6.
This is unbelievable racing. These guys are pushing so hard at the moment, trying to find something. This is a long race. We mentioned at the start of the first 15-minute race as an enduro. This is a super enduro, if you ask me, for these guys to hang on to it. They're going to be earning their money tonight. Yeah, they're just some level heads will need to prevail here for them to finish this race and get a bag full of great points. We've got Zach Retro White up the front. He can't even believe it. I'm sure of it. He's out there probably talking to his teammates now, just thinking how the sea has parted. So I'd imagine that he's going to come in shortly as well in the number 17. Why he's got this lead, but who knows? The strategy for this race has got me perplexed at best. Just add water and turns everyone a bit silly. Instantly you get an extra 100 horsepower as well under your right foot.
From what was P6 after that little mistake there at the middle corner. We'll see where he comes back out in as well. These guys here on track right now, I would expect it to be fairly lengthy looking safety car period, maybe as long as getting to about the 10-minute remaining mark before they're really tight on fuel. So as a result, drivers like, well, it was Brad Newman and where is he? Adam Hughes in P6. The two that took to the pit lane under that safety car. Have they got just that amount enough fuel to hang on? And critically for Adam Hughes, he's only 13 seconds off the race, so he can afford to probably back it off a good amount if he's got fuel concerns. Just roll the car in, save a bunch of fuel in a whole bunch of places, and give himself a chance at it here, because they'll be losing a ton of time. So Dylan Burst from, was it P8, ended up down to Cody Deeth. Was P6 in behind Christensen. About 6 or 7 seconds off the lead. He's now down at 30. So you're talking about 23, 24 seconds lost in the pit lane for a physical pit stop. So Adam Hughes has got time to burn here if he is indeed on a strategy that will work in terms of having a chance at the race win on that early stop.
Yeah, if he does come through for a podium, that would be the greatest podium I would ever see. If Adam Hughes gets that car to the end, it's going to be a tough ask to do that. We've got 21 minutes remaining. I'm all for it. I like that sort of stuff. But as we're just watching as these cars go through turn 1 again, everyone seems to be settling down again. They seem to have moments. They seem to settle into a rhythm. That rhythm's obviously faster than the guy in front of you, and then contact, collision, off the racing line, and away you go. I'd imagine a lot of these guys don't have any fast repairs left. For anyone watching at home, a fast repair means just that. You can instantly repair the car when you come into the pits. I imagine a lot of these guys will be having a little bit of damage on their car when they come through the finish line tonight. Fastest lap, another fast lap. Simon Nicholson, he is flying. It's a shame that he had some connection issues, and but he's still 1 lap down. I don't know if he can make it to the end. I'm not sure. Maybe he can on that tank. He might make up a few positions. The guy I do want to point out is Chewy Kang. He's up in P10 at the moment. As I've said that, I think he just went off the road. No, he didn't. He didn't go off the road, but he's up into P10. That's a good little fight back for him from starting at the back of the grid. He has had a bit of a helping hand with a few connection issues tonight, unfortunately. Hopefully that gets all resolved before we go to Bathurst next week for the final. Cody Deeth in the P11 at the moment. Oh, he's going to be chasing down. Now, these guys have had history, whether it be in practice, qualifying, race 1 or 2. These guys seem to find themselves on track a lot. Cody Deeth and Chewy Kang. So we'll watch this battle unfold. Cody Deeth's going to be... Oh, I thought he just had a bit of a moment there on the back of him very shortly. As we see Jamie Christensen jump into the lane from P6. Oh, we're back on board with Cody Deeth now. as he goes through turn 12. He's just so smooth. Can we stay on board with him for a lap here? I just want to see him in wet conditions as he chases down Chewy Kang. Oh, that was an absolute moment with, who was that coming out of the pits?
That's Christensen, and that's why he came to the pits to try and overcut Cody Deeth, but the undercut has worked in the favour of the Eclipse number 3 machine. Indeed, let's stay focused on this, but it was definitely close for sure. Maybe a couple more seconds. If he got up the road, he might have been able to contest at turn 1. But on board with the championship leader here, he tries to put together a good finish to this weekend, which has been a rough night of racing for him. How's that there for breaking confidence and performance relative to Chu Kang? In fact, he's going to now hustle him on the exit here down towards Siberia. Might be able to make this work around the outside. He'll be off to where the rubber is, which means there's grip out there, and he can just power around the outside.
Great racing, Cody. If you noticed on board, I was just watching him on board there. Precise. There's no snap, understeer or oversteer on the steering wheel at all. He's just very precise. He puts the car in the right position. He drives it very smooth, very Wing Cup-esque in the supercars, if you ask me. The way as I say that, he's just found the limit there on the car. But yeah, very smooth on the controls. It's going to do him well and probably point him up to the pointy end of this field in about 18 minutes time. Oh, here we go. This is the re-entry. Oh, code of pain.
Much left in it between Christensen and Deeth there, indeed, on that re-entry to the circuit. Well, let's see here. Matthew Boylett. Oh, he's lost out to Cody Deeth as well, according to that one there. As we watch him, our drives at the front of the field, winding their way through. And there you go. Boylett's going to be under a bit of pressure from Christensen, who's now got a lap of speed back on his tyres, but we'll hold on for now. So, Deeth potentially threatening a podium effectively once this pit cycle comes to a close. One last time on board with Christensen as Cody Deeth swings on by. Whole lap to go now.
We just saw Dylan Burst get past Chewy Kang as well. So Dylan Burst is in a P10 behind Jamie Christensen, Boylett, Cody Deeth. So that is the little battle I think that's going to be heating up. Zach Rattray, we have to wait for him to come into the pits. I'm keeping an eye on his sector times at the moment. So he's doing pretty good at the moment. He's doing 1:39.2. He's probably the fastest guy out there apart from Cody Deeth. So he had a bit of a lead on him as well. So he'll be taking that tank all the way to nothing before he comes in. He's on another lap now, so expect him to come in shortly.
Laps in it here, but indeed eyes on screen to Adam Hughes, and whilst we were
10-second penalty,
he might just be able to make the early stop work here with this rain-affected race. He's been deemed at fault for the second big incident on lap 1. Which had multiple cars there offing the grass at Southern Loop. So this now practically means that his chances of having a win here probably slim to none, I'd say, because currently he's fallen to 21 seconds off the race lead. He really would have had to have kept it about 13 odd seconds to probably be in with a chance of winning with that kind of penalty now hanging over his head. So that might just be it done for him. As
10 seconds severe.
Going to have a look here at the replay of the 95. And this is why he's lost most of that time. Throws it in too hot at Lukey Heights. Front end does not grip. And it's a clumsy rejoin as the grass is super wet. There. Back away we go. Turn to right footage, and now Brad Newman eyeing off the 37 at Chu Kang.
Yeah, Chewy's in the heat of it, as we see in nearly every race out there. He's going back down to P13. Oh, and he's going to give him a nudge as well for good measure. As they come through, but yeah, just getting back to that penalty, 10 seconds, and he was also involved in the penalty. He did go off the road, so that is a really severe. You'd normally see a 5 second, but they must have deemed it that he was completely at fault there and no one else was. You normally see through turn 1 and 2 some incidents where they can't be avoided, but obviously he could have avoided it, so unfortunate, and that's going to put him into P nowhere after this race, I'd imagine.
So we're going to have to try and wait for these pit cycles to shake out before we even have an idea of where everyone's at. Back up the front, less than 15 minutes to go now in this race. 7 seconds from Zach Retro-White to Stuart Ellis, then 20 seconds from the leader back to Matthew Dench here in third. Adam Hughes not too far behind. Back end of the top 10 currently has Dylan Burst trying to chase down Christensen for 9th position as they head on down towards turn 1. So yeah, almost going to the curb, but I really want to stay away from that painted line. And now, just starting to get a little closer to the normal dry line here, so they might be starting just to get the water off the circuit. In a way, that means they can take a bit more of a typical racing line around the circuit. And the way that the wet element is modelled, which is really neat. You have to generally avoid the dry line when you start off. You're not going to have any braking performance, much worse cornering performance. You can see here now, later on in the race, starting to get a little closer to the apexes. Start following your normal line on the brakes to open up corner entry. And with these currently...
Oh, Zach Retro-White is off. Zach Retro-White is off. And that thing is going nowhere. We'll have to find out what happened there. I was just looking at the sector time. I was just about to mention that he's the fastest car out on track at the moment. Not anymore, because that thing will have to bring out a safety car, I'd imagine. Where is he? Does anyone know exactly where he is?
That's down at MG.
Oh,
so the car
looped it.
Ultra slow speed loop, and then there, and it's
bottomed out.
Bottom out, tiniest bit of a dip. There's Stuart Ellis. Can't believe
Ellis is taking the lead.
He'll go straight to the pit lane, mind you. Oh, and he's overshot the pit lane. So safety car's been called. He's gone straight to the pits to get fuel in the car as the race leader goes by. And I'll have to see here. Does Lewis Greyhead have to jump back in behind the safety car here? Because surely can't be allowed to press on.
Zach Retro-White is still out there. The car is still out there, not going anywhere. He's got no teammates around him. No one's going to give him a push. Oh, actually, we should just go back to it at the moment. The number 5 has stopped there and said, "Hey, mate, do you want to get going again?" Probably not. If you could just leave me alone. Seth Brown's tried to go past him very slow. Yeah, that's unfortunate. He's going to be kicking himself. That he's. I tell you, just from a point of view from the Vermilion standpoint, he comes into the chat and he lifts everyone. He loves his rugby league, but he will not be loving where he is right now. He's actually gone back to the no, he's still out there on track. So safety car deployed. They're going to get him back very shortly. So Lewis Greathead, has he pitted? No. Cody Deeth, has he pitted? No.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, but Deeth now has the effective lead of the race. He's going to return it around.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I just for Cody Deeth to come from the back of the grid to get to P1, and let's be honest, he's not going to have that much. I shouldn't say that. Jamie Christensen's going to be right on his tail as well. Matthew Boylett's showing a bit of pace as well. Yeah, my timing is completely out. I can't see who's pitted or not. So if you can bring up for everyone at home who's pitted and who hasn't, Lewis. There we go. Sorry. Yes, I can see that now. So yeah, Lewis Greathead's going to have to come in. That's going to put him to the back. Not as far back as Zach Rattray at the moment. I just can't believe what we're witnessing. We've had so many leaders in these races have issues.
Yeah, between drivers being kicked out of the server and disconnecting to those who have ranges taken from several of the drivers here tonight. As you see here, does Greathead peel? Yes, he does. So he missed his chance to get in.
Just timing. That's all that was. To be honest, if you saw a car stranded out there, you'd duck him. He's just missed it. He might have been a bit too hot through there. Might not be able to get it turned in to where it needed to be. So this field of 20 cars is now on the lead lap, only 13 cars strong. Chewy Kang takes up the rear of this as we go through one more lap of safety car. We're going to have probably 8 minutes of racing to finish this off with. We're going to have Cody Deeth versus Matthew Boylett and Jamie Christensen. Lamborghini versus Porsche versus Ferrari. Let's throw in an Audi as well of Dylan Burst. He's very pacey as well. 4 manufacturers, a couple of different teams in there as well. It's going to be absolutely on for the next 8 minutes.
It will indeed. And Cody D finally get a win back on the board tonight after, well, qualifying front row. Sprint race, several incidents, seeing him buried down in 12th. Start of this race, tangled up in the turn 2 incident, which buried him down the pack, but then finally able to cut back through after the first safety car, and is now going to have a chance to lead the field away on this restart and have finally, a bit of vision. It's clear in front of him.
That is a good point you make there. Vision. He's going to be at the front without all that spray, leading the charge into turn 1 and 2, and try and just gap the field just a little bit. I should mention down the field we have Matthew Dench and Adam Hughes locked together as well in P8 and P9. So we're going to watch those guys. We saw how pacey they were as well. So we've got a lot of guys at the front here that can still win it. We're going to have 8 minutes left on the clock. Probably about, I'm going to say 4 laps left, if maybe 5 laps left. So it's anyone's. We've seen so many changes for the lead in just this race alone. So I'm not going to call it just yet. You at home can let me know who you think's going to win this. Look at the conditions. Oh, a little bit of I'm not going to say blue sky, but some brightness coming through at the moment, which is probably just what these guys need.
Yeah, well, we'll see if this means we have the rain stop at all, whether it'll continue to fall down here as the MG safety car's still here in front of the field, so it looks like we might not be going green.
No, it's going to... I'm just watching it now. I'd imagine that's going to take off.
No way we're getting a restart here at this point. So,
no.
Another lap behind the safety car. Tyre's going to cool off even more. Now, it wasn't so much of an issue on that restart there as... disappears for half a minute.
I had a sinking feeling there when I saw that.
Not the first time I've seen that, though, this evening from the 68 machine. So, it's about here looking, so it's been about 2.5 minutes for this safety car lap, so probably looking at about 5 minutes now, not even by the time we restart this race. Everyone's all lined up.
Great vision from Dan. From Jay at the moment. He just can't help himself. He must get bored in the background there and just find some new pictures to show us while we're on the safety car.
Definitely a chance to expand some angles and show off, that is for sure. But just thinking this here now, 14 cars on the... Simon Nicholson's been able to get back on the lead lap.
Yes.
So persistence has paid off for the PGZ machine. So maybe this is what we've been waiting for here. Waiting for the 08 to be able to get back around.
Those tyres are going to be nice and warm if he times this correctly.
He's just coming up to the back of the pack now, so they will start cooling off, but he might just have a bit of residual temperature advantage here in this restart situation, as we're expecting now. Surely, again, I can't get confirmation here of what's if we're going to go green or something, but by the looks of things, everyone that wants to be out on track is on track. So our 14 cars on the lead lap. Zach Rattray White looks to be circulating according to the timing tower there. 15th, 3 laps down. Martin 17th, 9 laps down. So circulating still. So this will get us a little higher. Like you see, back to road 86. Again, pull away from the field somewhere around here at Hayshed or maybe up over Lukey Heights. And
we're only going to have three laps at this pace at the moment. They're going to get going in about 20 seconds time. So we're probably going to see 3 hot laps anyway. As that pulls away, it's going to be interesting. This penultimate round of the ANZ eSeries Championship is definitely putting on a show for us, which we've been waiting for the whole season. So who's going to win it? Cody D is back up the front again. We come through MG. Great pictures here from Jay. He's on his drone at the moment. Just check out the puddles. Watch out for that sign. Check out the puddles as they come through here as well. We're about to get Grayson again. As Cody did go early, this will be a great shot to see if he goes a little earlier than we saw the front runners did at the beginning of the first restart. Cody Deeds is holding them up. Matthew Boylett's right in behind him with the Porsche. Oh, he's gonna hold him up as long as he can, and he'll get on the power. And he's on the power now. He's gapped him just a little bit. Yes, he's got a nice little 2/10 gap over Boylett just on the restart. As they come down into turn 1 again, Boylett's not going to let go of it. Just be careful on the outside, boys. There's no grip out there. They get through. We've only got 14 cars out there at the moment on the lap, and they all seem to get through turn 1 pretty cleanly into turn 2 through that loop. Very clean through that at the moment. Chewy Kang is going to find himself at the back of the grid.
Oh,
there's a wobble. Boylett, was that Boylett having a wobble?
it was.
And Jamie
Christensen
Christensen
promotes
through.
himself up to second. Dylan Burst now going to hustle here. Down towards the Miller corner. Boylett blocks it. It's going to dive. It's going to cause 3 cars off. Almost.
Here comes
Boylett
Newman.
actually hangs on. Somehow the 80 dynamic signals car going to get through. Newman then tagged Christensen as they all try and scramble to get back going. Dylan Burst might be able to get a spot in all of this one here. He's on the inside of the Porsche, but now it's into the puddles of Siberia. Power down into the drag race up past the Hayes here on this restart lap. Deep checking out at the front as a result. Newman up to third as they come through the hay shed here at racing speed. But Burst to the inside. That Lukey Heights can't get alongside, has to get back in line as they try and get up over the hill and find the grip down towards MG. You've now got Marina Morella there in 6th place. Almost nose to tail, almost making contact there as Stuart Ellis has gone off. O'Reilly's having a scrap with Greathead there on the tower. Greathead, in fact, dropping back down the order there as we come around the final turn. 3 minutes on the clock, so it will be another 2 laps of racing here to round out our evening. ANZ ESeries. That's Deeds off the road. That's Cody Deeds. Again,
that's Cody Deeds. That's his night over.
He's going to keep going. That's somehow not been as big as I thought it was, but tumbling down the order. How is your race leader with no pressure? He's had a massive moment in the final corner. Matthew Boylett inherits the race lead with 2.5 minutes to go.
He's got Newman right behind him too. He's got a 1.5 second gap on him. All Boylett has to do is just
off. I
bring
think
this
Christensen's
home.
off the Southern Loop. He is. The number 5 tumbles to the back of the top 10.
It is all happening. Oh my gosh. So he's going to be overtaken by Jacob O'Reilly at the moment. Team orders might play out for those guys. He might need to get that position back, which he does.
Who's that?
Oh, who's at the background?
Is that Nicholson? Nicholson's having an absolute
Nicholson's
ride
gone.
through the grass.
Wow, he's held on to that. We have to get back to that as a replay. He got back onto the tarmac and found some grip and stopped that thing from smashing into the back of Stuart Ellis. Unbelievable. I did mention as we were about to go green that it is anyone's race, and I did not know that any of that was going to play out. Oh no, he's done it by himself, and he's come back. Oh wow,
and he's tried to come back on, yeah. And it's happened really, so it's much like the Ferraris. It must have been a big old snap early on in the corner, and as a result, he's then tried to hang on to it, and then put power down on the exit curb and wobbled off into the grass. Back live, he's got himself back up to P6. He was on about 8th or so he's made a couple of spots already on that lap there as the white flag will fly here across the line. Matthew Boylett has 1.5 seconds or thereabouts
Dench on the outside
for the race lead. Matthew Dench can indeed challenge Cody Deeth into turn 1. Outside has been pretty favourable.
Oh,
no! Attack! That's the second time those two have come together, and Deeth is spearing across the road.
He'll go back onto the circuit. He'll take him out.
Oh, Boylett! He's got Boylett!
That's Boylett.
Our race lead is gone. Brad Newman inherits the race lead with chaos. After the white flag, Dylan Burst is going to challenge him for the lead down towards Miller corner. I can't believe this.
Stay on board here with Dylan Burst. Dylan Burst is putting pressure on him. They're going to go green to the end here. We're not going to see a safety car. Brad Newman is going to somehow hold on to this. Dylan Burst has so much more pace than him at the moment. That Porsche, as we know, is going to... Oh, and he's tapping him through as they go up the hill.
Tries to force the door open, but Siberia's no grip on the inside for Dylan Burst. Half a lap left. We've got the Hayes Shed, Lukey Heights and MG to negotiate here. He's definitely got some speed, but he's got to find a way through without it being too controversial here as we get up towards this final lap of the race. All of them throwing it up over the hill through Lukey Heights into the apex at MG. Marino
Two more
Morella,
corners.
meanwhile, in case you were worried about that, he's got third place currently in his hand, and it looks like he might have that to finish off here. Is now just one turn left from what was going to be a top 5 finish here. Might just be the race win for Brad Newman as they come around the final turn. Dylan Burst going to hustle him to the line, nose to tail as they head on down, but it will be Brad Newman who takes the checkered flag and wins the feature race here in the penultimate round of the ANZ ESeries GT3 National Championship from Phillip Island. Dylan Burst will have to settle for second. Marino Morella will take his first podium of the season there in third. And one more time, we go to the Burley Motor Group replay and have a look at what's happened here between Cody Deeth and Matthew Dench.
Slightest contact. It's just turned him.
And once
I can
again,
tell
the
you
car
guys
on the
that there's
inside-
nothing he can do. Nothing he can do. He can hold the brakes all he wants. There's nothing that... Oh, it's just unfortunate. Oh, big contact too. Oh my gosh. Yeah, now we're on board here with this contact. So that's through turn 2.
And hello.
Oh, what do you
It's
do?
There's just no
What do
time
you
left.
do?
No time left in the wet. Barely enough time even in the dry to be able to try and avoid that one from happening. And what he'd been gifted the race lead there after Dench and Deeth came together at turn 1, and it's been cruelly ripped away from him there at the end of it all. So it's very much provisional, and in fact a reminder actually that there was a post-race penalty earlier on in the race. And in fact, if I go back and confirm that one for us here, folks,
10-second penalty.
It was 10 seconds. He had another 5-second penalty in addition to that one as well. So, with all of those point time penalties and all of the madness, it will be Dylan Burst who comes home your race winner officially at this stage after time penalties. Marino Morella will get second in this race. And don't forget, Adam Hughes had a time penalty earlier on. And as I've just been reminded, that promotes Simon Cox in the 64 BMA Audi to third place in this race here today. Then Jamie Christensen will be promoted to 4th. Jacob O'Reilly up to 5th. Lewis Greathead, yep, he'll get 6th in this one. Matthew Dench home, therefore 7th. Stuart Ellis will get, Stuart Ellis has got a time penalty here. He gets sent
There's
down
time
back
penalties
the order.
everywhere.
Yeah, so Ellis 5 seconds. Brad Newman cumulative 15 seconds. And Adam Hughes 10 seconds. So yeah, Dylan Burst, Marino Morella, Simon Cox. We can say that much is your top 3, with Jamie Christensen and Jacob O'Reilly up into the top 5.
Let's get him in here for a chat, because that had all the hallmarks of a great race. I'm just speechless still of what happened with Cody Deeth there. We might have to unpack that a little more later on, but I just can't believe the amount of lead changes we had in that race was unbelievable. So we'll just see who we've got knocking on the door at the moment. I think Dylan Burst is coming in here. He takes P1 after some time penalties. Dylan, mate, what a race. Just please talk us through a little bit of it, mate.
Oh, I don't know, mate. It's a long 45 minutes. I mean, got a decent enough start. There was people going off everywhere. I ended up getting to second right behind the lead and got hut off a bit, so I thought it was over from there. But, I mean, safety cars bring it right back. Deeth gets hut off again, and here I am after Boylet got absolutely ass-cooked on the last lap. So that's good fun. Good fun.
Well, it doesn't matter how it happened. There's some people in the chat saying that luck was on your side there.
No.
I think that it doesn't mean you were in the wars as well, so you've stayed out of it enough to get through to the win, mate. Congratulations. Next week we go to Bathurst. It won't be wet, hopefully, for everyone racing.
Yeah, hopefully.
I mean, your championship points at the moment are great. Having a win here has really cemented you into P2. Do you think you can come home and maybe push for that to hold on to P2 next week?
Yeah, I mean, P2 would be a nice place to finish. I mean, it's something nice to get out at the end of the championship, so I feel like I've got quite a good chance of that. Bathurst is probably my best track by far, so it's going to be nice to have a track where I excel at, so we see what happens there, hey? Should be good fun. Should be good fun.
Again, we see an Eclipse esports car up the front. If it's not you, it's your teammate Cody Deeth. Were you in the chat with him, with Cody, when it happened?
Yeah, no, he wasn't loving it. Like I said, I wasn't really loving it for half the race too, but I mean, look, happened in the end, so we're all quite happy for each other that we at least came out on top, the one of us. So, end of the day, good result for the team and good result for myself. It's just a shame Deef got had off, unfortunately.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. You have to rewatch that, mate, because it was pretty cool last couple of laps after that safety car. Mate, give us a shout out for the Eclipse team, mate. Yeah,
no, look, I just like to shout out Deef, Caleb, Eddie, Barry, Cotter, Caleb. I'd also like to give a big shout out to Seth Brown, because him getting DC'd really made me push for the win that race. It was quite extreme. So big shout out to him. Cameron McLeod, Matthew Boylett for getting had. Ben Faulkner for putting the series on, of course. You fellas for the broadcast. Hayden Veld, Alex Bird, Hugh Barter, Kalen Chin. Yeah, that should be about it for the most part. So yeah.
I was going to get Jay just to wrap the music up there and just fade you down there, because it was going on for a little bit, Dylan.
Oh,
mate.
I mean, yeah. Look.
No, but you got to get the thank yous out there, and I'm glad you.
Get the thank yous out.
I'm glad you did that for us, man. Great race. It'll be watched again many times, I think, that race, just to see how it all unfolded. I'm going to have to unpack it myself. But congratulations on the race win. Look forward to seeing you next week at Bathurst for the final, and good luck to the Eclipse team.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Look forward to it myself. Have a good one, fellas. Cheers to the Broadie.
No worries.
Gotcha, bro.
That was the number 68 machine, Dylan Burse, in here having a chat. He's always got a few words to say. I might pass over to you, Dan, to talk to second place.
Sounds good indeed. Well, Marina Morella joins us now here. Will be officially classified second in that feature race. And, well, it's been up and down for you this season, Marina, when, well, the rain definitely appears to have given you a chance to keep your nose clean and be able to show us what you're made of.
Yeah, no, it's been a crazy season. The racing in this series has been fantastic for the most part. I definitely think I've had some better results in the wet when chaos is about.
Well, I mean, yeah, even tonight, I mean, yeah, we were watching in practice early on to get a sort of feel for how things were going, and it was definitely looking a little dicey at times. How was it feeling when you jumped in, sort of, right from the get-go, because we've had rain all session long here tonight?
Was very nervous about about actually jumping in tonight, because I haven't had the chance to do much practice this week. But yeah, no, it was very odd. The moderate weather conditions definitely didn't suit the Porsche and the setup that it's got applied to it, and I think we definitely struggled in that section, especially coming down through Lukey Heights. The car wasn't feeling amazing, but we got there in the end. Yeah, the balance was a bit off, but I didn't mind it, and obviously it's worked out for me here today.
And I mean, your perspective there, perhaps even from that last lap chaos, we're actually seeing it now, slow motion as we're talking with you. At that point in the race, you're sitting, I believe that would have put you back in 6th place when you started the final lap. All of a sudden, turn 1, you've got 2 cars that spear off the road, and then the race lead, the driver who inherits the race lead, gets wiped out on the other side of a Southern Loop with just being in the wrong place at the wrong time. All of a sudden, you're 3rd on the road. What's that like when you're behind the wheel in that moment?
Look, I would hate to say I didn't laugh. I only just caught the end of it. I just saw Cody and Matthew hit, but I was more focusing on the car in front of me, because I believe it was Jamie spun off just in front, so I was busy avoiding him, and then watching everything else unfold. And I was kind of hesitant on the restart, just because I wanted to obviously make it through turn 1. You have to finish the race at some point, so I was kind of being careful to let Brad go, because he's always willing to get amongst it. So I kind of knew that where Brad goes, chaos normally follows. And that was my kind of thought process going through that race.
Well, one final race now left in, well, sorry, one final race, one final round, 2 races as usual, left in this season. We head to Mount Panorama Circuit at Bathurst to finish things off, and we're expecting a dry forecast to make things a little bit more sensible and sane around there, because it looks like what we ended up with tonight made things just a little bit crazy. But what are your thoughts going to be like sending the GT3s one last time this championship around the Mount Panorama Circuit?
I think it'll be okay. The Porsche probably isn't the strongest there. It's pretty good over the top, but on the straights, a bit lacking, especially on this fixed setup. Hopefully that'll equal out some of the cars. I know from previous racing experience earlier in the year during the OSR Bathurst 12 hour that the Ferrari is definitely the car to be in, and the Porsche is definitely not. So they're the kind of things that I'm expecting on the mountain. But it is one of my preferred tracks, as it probably as is everyone's favourite track.
Well, look forward to seeing you in action in that case. Floor is all yours. Who do you want to thank for helping you get it done tonight in the number 7?
Just a big thank you to the Visceral Esports team. They've been fantastic in supporting me and my goals. I honestly didn't drive GT3 before this, but now I have. Thanks to Asatech for giving me the ability to go out and race tonight. Also, big thank you to all my friends who have supported me during this season.
Well, there we are. Marina Morella says 3rd on the screen, but it will be 2nd in the race results once the time penalties are applied. Chatting with us there, Aaron. But that looks like that's going to be it for interviews. It looks like Simon Cox might not have got the memo that he got promoted up to P3.
I think he'll get the message later on. I think he's got out there, and he's probably really excited that he's got a P5 in this championship, and we know how close it's been. We've seen some glimpses of pace from Simon Cox, but yeah, I sent him a message just then saying, hey, get in here and have a chat, but that's okay. That's all right. We might get to speak to him at Bathurst. And for everyone watching at home, please tune in next Saturday, same time, same place. You'll need your seat to be there. Bathurst, it's going to be fantastic. I don't know what the weather's going to bring, but that's fine. Hey, Dan, great racing tonight. A lot of issues, but the racing was clean. For the most part, so I really enjoyed that.
I think, yeah, that's a very good estimate. A good estimate. The rain certainly delivered in terms of throwing up spanners in the works, and now gives us a chance to turn our attention to the final round of the season, and we'll be able to walk through things there in terms of the championship, whether Cody Deeth has got it done here tonight. There's a good chance he might have ahead of Dylan Burse. But we'll confirm that next Saturday evening when we return.
The only thing that could possibly stop him from winning this championship is we have a safety license points guide. If he was to be removed from the series for whatever reason, that's the only way he's going to lose this this series. So congratulations to, well, we should have got him in for a chat, but we can talk to him at Bathurst. Congratulations to him on probably taking out that championship at the moment. Look, we'll take us out from there. It's getting late. You guys all want to go have something to eat.
Simon Cox is here.
Oh, Simon Cox. Oh, he's on time. Get him in here. Let's get him in here for a chat, if we can.
There
Simon,
got him.
Yes.
Simon, I sent you a message. Did you even know that you came 3rd in that race?
No, I didn't know.
Well, hey, happy birthday, Simon. You're 3rd on the race at the moment. We've had Brad Newman had a 15-second penalty, puts you a position up. Adam Hughes in front of you had a time penalty as well. That puts you up into P3. So it was Dylan Burse, Dylan Burse, Morella, and then you into P3. Congratulations.
Ah, great. That's an early birthday present. My birthday's next Friday, so I'll take that.
Hey, Simon, in that race, you were anywhere but up the front there. Your pace was there or thereabouts. Did you even contemplate and being on the podium?
Oh, not at all, mate. Like, this whole field is just, full of great drivers, and it was just a case of survival. Like, I knew it was going to be a bit rough. People just dropping wheels. Like, you only just got to drop a wheel onto a white line and you're gone, and you're spinning for quite some time. So just tried to just keep it clean and see what happened,
Well, what happened was you came through for a podium. You got to chat with us guys in the broadcast. You get to watch it back now. for everyone watching at home and see how you went, mate. Please give a shout out to thank everyone that there. Or not. That's fine. Maybe the rain has affected.
Yeah, no, you were just breaking up a bit there. Sorry, but I'd just like to
yes,
to thank Rob Hill and Daniel Hill that have helped me out through the season, just being a spotter for me. They're the guys from BMA, and all the other guys in the championship. It's been really good racing. Some hip and shoulders every now and then, but it's a great season. I'd just like to thank also you guys for putting on the series. It's been great.
I'm having a technical issues at the moment. So if you can hear, thank you for jumping in here, Simon, and I'll get Dan to take us out.
Yeah, indeed. Well, wild bit of racing here from the island, and that will be the end of our penultimate round of racing here for the ANZ ESeries GT3 National Championship. As we mentioned, join us next Saturday at the same time, 7 p.m. Australian Eastern, for the final round at Bathurst. Before we sign off, big thanks real quick to, of course, the sponsors that have made this series possible. To the Burling Motor Group, Hymo Setups, Race Lab, Trophy Hub, and First Take Photography. Of course, Motorsport Australia and the esports division for making this national championship possible in partnership with the team from ANZ ESeries. On behalf of us here in the commentary box, Jay Kennedy on cameras, Aaron Robusto alongside me on the microphone. My name's been Daniel Yeaman. Thank you all for watching us here tonight. And again, see you next Saturday to round out this GT3 National Championship.
Weekend in, weekend out, Motorsport Australia officials are making waves. From waving flags, waving cars through pit lane, or responding to a wave for help. Wave hello to new lifelong friends. Who knows, you might just make waves around the world. Ride the first wave. Search Motorsport Australia officials today.